Welcome back for chapter 3.7 video notes. This lesson is the last lesson for chapter 3, and it's all about variation. And we see variation happen in our everyday lives. One thing is at the store. So if you were to purchase 3 bags of Doritos for $12, how much would it cost for 5 bags of Doritos? That's a question we would want to answer, right? So one strategy might be to think, okay, well, if I know that 3 bags of Doritos cost $12, I could divide by 3, assuming that they all cost the same. That means that each bag costs $4. And so that means I know if I bought 5 bags at $4 each, it would cost me $20. Okay, that's called variation, because as the number of bags goes up, the price goes up as well. That's called direct variation. On the very last page of the notes, you're going to see where I summarized everything and how we're going to use it. Okay. So direct variation is this. Y varies directly with X means that Y equals some coefficient of multiplication times X. Okay, that's my coefficient of variation is K. If S varies directly with the square of T, that means that T squared times K equals X. If Y is directly proportional to the cube of Z, that means we have Z cubed times K. And if U is directly proportional to the square root of V, that means we have K times the square root of V. And then we have something similar with inverse variation. But let's go ahead and look at a couple of direct. It says Y varies directly with X. So that means that we know that Y equals K times X. Directly with X means that K gets multiplied by X. If we know that Y is a negative 32, when X is 4, find X when Y is a negative 40. So first we have to find K. So if we divide by 4, we find out that K equals a negative 8. And then that tells us that this is our actual equation that we're going to use. K is our coefficient of variation. So then I know that when Y is a negative 40, we can solve for X. If I divide them by a negative 8, we get X equals to be 5. Let's try another one. It says D varies directly with the square of R. So D varies directly with the square of R. If D, big D or little d, I guess that could be, is 12, when R is 6, find D when R is 9. So first we have to find K. And so to solve for K, we're going to divide by 36. So K is actually 1/3. It's a fraction this time. So now that we know what K is, we know our equation is D is 1/3 R squared. And that says find D when R is 9. So D is 1/3 times 9 squared. So 1/3 times 81, D is equal to 27. So there's 3 steps. One is find K. So the first thing is you need to find a base equation. Like decide if it's directly or inversely and how it's going to be set up. That's what we did here. The second thing is to solve for K. And then the third thing is to rewrite the base equation with K. Once you know what K is, then you can use that base equation to solve for the next situation. So let's look at some inverse variation. So inverse variation means that when X goes up, Y goes down, and when Y goes down, up, X goes down. They are opposite of each other. So for example, R is inversely proportional to S. So R is inversely proportional to S. If R is 8, when S is 3, find S when R is 48. So we found our base equation here. I'm going to solve for K by multiplying by 3. So K is 24. So that means my base equation, now that I know K, is this. And then it says find S when R is 48. So when R is 48, what is S? So to solve for S, I'm going to multiply both sides by S. So I'll have S times 48 equals 24. And then I'm going to divide by 48. So I get 24 divided by 48 is 1/2. So S is 1/2. Let's look at example 4. It says Y varies inversely with the square of X. So Y varies inversely with the square of X. That's my first step, inversely. Okay, if Y is 12, when X is 2, find Y when X is 6. So there's my base equation. Y varies inversely with the square of X. Y is 12 when X is 2. So 12 equals K divided by 4. And if I multiply by 4, I find out that K equals 48. Okay. So my equation is Y equals 48 divided by X squared. And then it says find Y when X is 6. So Y when X is 6, 48 divided by 36 is 4/3. Y is 4/3. I can divide both by 12. Okay, next one. I varies inversely with the cube of W. I varies inversely with the cube of W. If I is 1/25, when W is 5. Okay. So 5 cubed is 125. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 125. And we get 125 divided by 25 is 5. So K must be 5. So there's my base equation. I solved for K. Now my equation with K in it. Okay. So find I when W is 10. I is 5/10 cubed. So I is equal to 5/1000. Or 1/200. And then we have a few joint lines. So this means we have joint phrases here means like y varies jointly with x and z. So x and z are both inputs. Z varies jointly with r in the square of s. So r in the square of s. And then we have, v is directly proportional to t, but inversely proportional to p. So t is on top and p is on bottom. So we've got some different possibilities here. Let's look at a couple examples. So it says z varies jointly with x in the square of y. So my base equation is z varies jointly with x and the square of y. Here's my base equation. Then it says if z is 27, when x is 6 and y is 3. Okay, so first let's find k. So 3 squared is 9 times 6 is 54. So 54k 27. I'm going to divide by 54 on both sides. So 27 divided by 54 is 1/2. So z equals 1/2 times x times y squared. Then it says, find x when z is 50 and y is 4. Okay, so now we got to solve for x. So 50 equals 4 squared is 16 times 1/2 is 8x. And then if we divide by 8, we get 50 divided by 8. So x is 25/4. These are fun. Let's look at example 7. It says z varies jointly with y and the square of x. Okay, similar to the last one. So if z is 240, x is 4, and y is 5. Okay, so we have to find k. So 240 equals 4 squared is 16 times 5 is 80. So 80k. If we divide both sides by 80, k must be 3. So that's my second step. So my third step is rewriting my base equation with k as 3. Then it says find z when x is 6 and y is 3. We have 9 times 36. 27 times 324. So z is 324. Let's look at example. Let's these over here and see what questions you have. See if you can try the next one on your own by getting started. F varies directly with m and inversely with the square of d. So F varies directly with m and inversely with the square of d. If d is 4, when f is 75 and m is 20, find, okay, that'll be the last part. So let's go ahead and find k. 20 divided by 16. And we can reduce that by 2, so that'd be 10/8. Okay. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 8/10. So K equals going to be a decimal. Oh, comes out to be 60s. K is 60. So my equation is F equals 60M divided by D squared. Then it says find D with F at 200 and M is 120. We want to know D squared. Okay. So I'm going to multiply D squared by both sides because we have to get D on top. So we have 200 times D squared equals 7,200. And then if we divide both sides by 200, we get D squared is 36. So D is 6. That one was tough, but fun. That is all for chapter 3. Catch me back for another video.